So, Saltbox topic of the week.
This is a crazy one.
You know how we want to frame this.
Okay, so let's see if we can frame it this way.
Let's go.
Short-term rental,
Yeah,
by definition, is like 3 months or less, right?
correct.
Yes. So, but Airbnbs changed the game of that.
Right.
And so Airbnbs became nightly, weekly, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
And we're talking more single family home or duplexes at this point, because all the condos have their own HOA fee rules. So they have to abide by that. So the city government manages the zoning of all the single family homes and how they can be used.
And residential areas, correct.
Yeah, the residential areas and how they can be used.
Yeah.
So we have heard all throughout this, course of time, IRB, Indian Rocks Beach, is zoned for Airbnbs. In 21, 22, Airbnbs kind of leaked over to the Largo Seminole area, which is just basically east and north, east and south of where IRB is. And you can go into certain areas there that says like, don't Airbnb our area, don't short-term our area.
Yeah.
But because of the hurricane and the fact that like some of the homes, people just like said like abort, and like just give me any money that I can because I can't do this and I don't want to deal with it. We had a lot of investors that came in and scooped up a lot of homes.
The property.
So it has been always rumored in Madeira Beach, there hasn't been a strong presence of, I guess I would say, park management, of who's actually in charge of. It's the county, right, that is in charge, and it's the local government to govern whether or not single family home and duplexes can Airbnb. Because currently, as of right now, the way that the short-term rental plan reads, there's a couple of streets and there's like no more than 10 houses that have been grandfathered in to being able to Airbnb. Now that
outside
list is
outside of the allowed zoning areas.
Outside of the allowed zoning. So there's a 3-month zoning, and then there's like a 6-month zoning, and then there's an annual zoning all throughout Madeira Beach. Now, I'll say that, as someone that rents to people that are vacationing in Madeira Beach,
right.
It is kind of the Wild West. I know that because now I mean, over the last couple of years, I've gotten to know where the streets are, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't allowed. Yeah, that ain't allowed there.
Right?
Yeah, that ain't allowed there.
There's no way.
I'm not a rat, so I'm not going to tell anyone. We got enough rats in the area. I'm not a rat. So
if you listen to this podcast, you would know that we're able to go in there and ask hypothetically.
Yes, hypothetically.
If one were to own on, say, this street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
Can I see the list? So, but interestingly enough, so Caitlin and I have been working with a couple of people over the course of the last 6 weeks, let's say, maybe a little bit longer, where it's become like kind of a topic of conversation you and I have had about like, what does that really look like in Madeira Beach? As I'm not a resident of Madeira Beach and you are, but I have a business in Madeira Beach. And so my viewpoint would be potentially different than someone that resides in Madeira Beach. And I respect that. And I you know what? My business has managed the way it has for as long as it has. I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'm just trying to put in my perspective. But so what has entered the arena, as we like mentioned and teased before, is that there is a petition and or applications for specific homes located in Madeira Beach that are trying to do it the legal way.
Right.
I mean, you've got to commend them. They're trying to do it the legal way.
100%.
And they're like, I would like my home to be a short-term rental and being able to be Airbnb'd at a week or 2 weeks or whatever they prefer. But interestingly enough,
Yeah, but the application that Stephanie's referring to is to actually create a type of zoning
Yes.
category that
Yeah.
does not currently exist in our playbook, if you
Yeah.
will.
So as the lawyer was scratching through with this application, well, sure, I'll submit the application for you. Then the city acknowledged and said, you can't submit an application to a zoning that doesn't exist.
To apply to become something that's not real, right?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like to be a pony. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So it's they're that where Madeira Beach has entered the arena is that they're going to start getting public input on
Yeah.
what that even actually looks like. And
Yeah.
basically what they're trying to do is establish a division 6 is what it's called.
Got it.
I guess, low density vacation rental, because it doesn't exist in our, I guess, in our planning and developing, or, you know,
Right.
in our ordinances or whatever it may be. So that has to happen first before there can even be
The allowance to slide
the
in.
application to go in.
Exactly.
So I, first of all, commend the people that are trying to do it legally. They have a lawyer. They're not trying to get in trouble. Whereas, you know, the fine, some people, it's a $250 fine if you get caught having an Airbnb per night. And the reason that you would get caught is if they're, I guess, if we have someone savvy enough to understand the way Airbnb works, because they don't always disclose the neighborhood or the address.
No.
Or you have a neighbor that doesn't like what's going on over there.
Legally Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's living on the beaches is interesting. And I totally, let me just preface this. I want to be complete transparency with what I'm about to say, because some of it's going to contain my own personal opinion.
Sure.
So I have lived in Madeira Beach now full time for 5 years.
Yeah.
We do not own property. We are annual tenants. Okay.
You're always actively looking, though.
And then he goes and buys a Corvette. Straight from the house fund, whatever. Love you. So we're always looking. I drive through your neighborhood way more often than you know, and I don't want to bother you or seem weird, but it's literally just a check for sale by owners. Okay. So anytime we're over there, I'm like, let's just drive through. Let's just drive through. And he's like, and he does. So, I mean, that's like, you know, he's complacent, right? He's compliant and complacent in this drive. So nobody's against their will. Anyway, so I've lived in Madeira Beach. I am a tenant. And I say this that way because for some reason, we are occasionally treated by people as second-class citizens in residency versus property owners, which, as the fact of this is the first time that Trent and or I have not owned the property in which we are living in about 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and again, there's nothing wrong with people that rent their entire lives. Obviously, in real estate, Stephanie and I want to talk to you and maybe talk through some things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that is your choice. And I'm not knocking people that rent forever or have rented forever or will continue to rent forever. But it is something that's outside of our personal wheelhouse. We are in a position where we are very happy. It's a duplex. We're the very first people to ever rent in it since 1969. The woman that lives in the duplex next to us, she is our second mom. We are family that is familia at this point. Yeah. And she wants to continue to pass down this property to her heirs as it has continued to do so to her since 69. My street is right behind John's Pass, which is a tourist district. Okay.
Yes.
However, at the end of John's Pass, it immediately starts on my street of a 3-month minimum rental.
Yeah.
So my hesitation is that being in real estate and also being a part of a company and a brokerage that does a lot of new builder projects, which are strategically built and placed and purchased in the already zoned appropriate areas to be an Airbnb.
Yeah, to maximize the profitability.
And what gets my
ultimately, that's what it is.
You have people that come in and it's a changing of the guard and you know exactly what it is that you were sold and you want to change it all.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that. However, that takes a different type of depersonality mind than my brain will allow it. I'm like, that's not the rule. Who do you think you are? You just come in here and you start changing things to the back of the line. But that to me is where I personally need to grow in becoming more
Sure.
Well, let's talk about it. And so again, and in real estate too, I'm kind of a double-edged sword with that because personally, I don't want to see the expansion of the Airbnbs back into our bedroom communities and what a lot of the residents in Madeira Beach pride themselves on not being Indian Rocks Beach.
Yeah.
And what is not as well known, that it is completely Wild Wild West all the way back to the Intracoastal on any and everything that you could ever buy, is Reddington Beach. And people don't know that that is right next to us.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it shares a zip code.
It does share a zip code.
I mean,
and so
it's right there.
It's been coming, and it's been knocking on the door, and there's been other townships that we can say they changed accordingly because they realized the benefit for their town's economy, or maybe they folded like a brown paper bag because they had so many investors show up to the public hearing and none of the actual full-time residences did that were naysayers.
What happens? So that does happen.
That is that it's very important people to pay attention to city events, and specifically commission hearings, public hearings, workshop meetings, things like that, because this is where this gets its start. And again, freedom Florida, keep Florida free, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I know that it's been a big thing for Governor DeSantis to stand on, to say a property owner should have the right to do with their property what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's great. But let's look at our affinity for deed restrictions communities. It's because things look nice. Okay.
Yes.
It's because things look nice when everything goes the regular rigmarole.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's appropriate to have these public hearings and call to action and all the things and do it the right way. And I'm all about democracy. Contrary to popular belief in the political arena of our national politics in the last 10 years, I do truly believe in the process of democracy.
Yes.
So if the majority of the people want this, fine. Yep. And the thing is that I do agree in the real estate profession industry that there are certain places in our town that it would make sense.
It would. I know.
A hurricane. Yeah. And so I know there's a few streets here, that are closer to what I would call the north end of town. And they sit right behind the already restaurants, bars, things like that, beach accesses. And they are lower density, meaning that they're not sixplexes, quadplexes, apartment buildings. We're talking duplexes, maybe triplex, single family home. So
they're on the same street as some of those apartments.
And they're on the same street as some of those. So my thing is that it makes me nervous that the one owner has kind of broken the ice here by hiring the attorney, which, trust me, that attorney is like, be right there, because they get to charge by the hour, people. So something that doesn't even exist. How many freaking hours do you think that attorney is going to get to wet dream? Got it? Okay. And again, it's not that I don't trust lawyers, but I sound like such a naysayer. But it's like, of course he took that case. Yeah,
that's right.
He's going to get paid the whole time trying to let you make it to where you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What I'm going to get off my crazy train about is that there are areas that I think that it's worth looking into. However, what is the Pandora's box that I'm afraid of opening is that if we start doing these one-offs properties, how does that work? And that I feel like will take so long to kind of trickle down the economics, if you will, from letting these one-off ones happen. We should do this where we look at the actual neighborhoods and maybe do a foul swoop. Meaning, like, for example, if we're looking at 147, 48, 40, or 46, 47, 45th, 145th, coming east from Gulf Boulevard, maybe all the way back to Bayshore.
Yep.
Thoughts, right?
No, I think that that's exactly right. Is that
But you have to remember that there's people that bought purposely to not be in these areas. They want the
Yes.
bedroom community. They want to live there full time. They don't want to deal with Susan's divorce party. If I have one more
Yeah.
piece of baby girl confetti come over my fence because Janet's having another baby by her third baby daddy,
Yep.
I'm going to lose my mind because they
Yeah.
don't, and it says that studies have been done, there's no trash, there's no increase in police calls, there's no, studies have been done to show that it's not what we call this free for all of Sodom and Gomorrah if you open it up
Yes.
to Airbnb.
Yes.
But it can get there quickly. And obviously that's probably going to be one bad off guest that's going to get a 1-star review back on their guest profile
Yeah.
on Airbnb, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm cleaning up confetti from the waterway. So I think it has to do with the expectations of the property owners, the respect of the existing property owners, and the fact that the property owners need to stop bitching behind their keyboards and actually get out here to these public hearings and these commission meetings and these workshops and let it be known. Because when it comes down to fight night, a lot of the times these fighters don't show up.
No, or it'll happen after the matter, right?
Oh yeah.
That's when it all surfaces. What just happened? That just, and we don't have some secret website that we look at to find out what's going on in the city. We just look at it ahead of time, and you can be emailed every Saturday morning is when the email comes out to let you know what's going on for the next week. But
look at me, I'm so flustered.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
Look what I did. I just literally grabbed this. Yep, spoiler alert.
Spoiler. That's what's in the cup. That's what's in it. Yeah, that's what's in it. Yeah, but I think that it'll be interesting to see, because you and I had, like I said earlier, two different kind of situations that were going on that it brought the conversation alive for us. And you and I had some really good conversation about what, if we were writing the rules, what areas we thought would make sense.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. And if you happen to live on that area, I have to tell you, from an investment standpoint, your property value probably just went up. So don't worry about that.
Don't knock it till you try it, right?
Yeah. So that piece of it, and then we've both heard opposing views. Like I get it. Like I get it. You want it. You want to live in this beach community, and you want to live in this beach community that thrives and grows, and you can raise your family here, and you can be a part of and celebrate.
Let's remember who pays our taxes. The tourists do. I get it. And at the end of the day, let's also not act like, if we're just looking at Madeira Beach, it's pretty much Gulf Boulevard. That is the only permissive place. And then that is majorly condominiums. And like you said, the condo associations have the right to dictate. And a lot of them are 2 weeks or more.
Yeah. And growing up, did you ever go on vacation 2 weeks or more? I mean, as a business owner, so now I'll say my business owner perspective.
Yes, please.
As a business owner in Madeira Beach, I do not reside in Madeira Beach. I love Madeira Beach, but I don't reside in Madeira Beach. I'm okay with it. Do I want like Crystal Island to become an Airbnb? No, come on. I don't want these mega $1 million homes to become Airbnbs. That's so Reddington. I don't want that. That's not Madeira Beach. Like, that's not Madeira Beach. I don't want that. I mean, I think that there's areas in North Bay Shore. There's, you think about, Parsley, like there's, different Pruitt, like you could think of all these different areas that I'm like, no, that should not happen there. But then you think about the ones that are just slowly, the little arteries that are right off of Gulf Boulevard. Yes. Some of them are already apartments.
I know.
I'm not buying a house there and raising my family next to an apartment.
No, you're
I'm
not.
never doing that.
You're right. And
those people, I mean, I want them to come in. I want new guests to come in every week and rent jet skis. I'm a business owner. Mm-hmm. So be it. I think, and we want them to patron, Dockside Dave's, the Green Room, the Reef, whatever happens at Coastal Taco with the smoke shop. Like, We want them, up and down, Lucky Lizard. We want them to be up and down, like all that area.
And I agree with that. And I realize too, I'm not trying to be that negative Nancy resident. I think that there is room for growth regarding the short term rental capacity and capability within our town.
Yeah.
Just look at Madeira Beach. Oh God, we were just sorry. I just had a thought. You were just saying like, I would love that.
I mean, I just think those are not the people that are coming in and renting for a year or 3 months. 3 months, right, maybe not so much, but they're working while they're here.
Working. Yeah. No, we're working. Yeah.
So God, I don't know. I mean, again, like you said earlier, I don't, you got to have an opinion if you live in this town, because things are going to just keep happening and you're not going to be happy about it, and you're just going to go mouth off on Facebook. And obviously, as you seen over the course of the last month, it's not getting you anywhere, people.
No.
Guess what? It's not getting you anywhere. Show up at the meetings. That's how you get somewhere.
Yes. God, man, it's just like the never ending story that never comes to a head because the other side refuses to come to the meeting.
Yes.
And it's so frustrating.
They come to the keyboard, not the meeting.
We don't get anything done. I find it ironic, and this might be my conspiracy theory brain of being like, why are you even bothering now? Because what we know is how many hotel rooms are about to come to this town in the next 2 to 3 years. Do we need to think about short-terming residential areas when we are going to have no less than, let me think about this, 161, 120, 40.
87, yeah.
Over 300 brand new rooms.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to negatively impact me. I mean, from a business owner, I'll also say this too, is that it's not going to negatively impact me if you don't change your rules.
Right. I just feel as though, again,
we want this to become an epicenter, right? Like Madeira Beach has like really big plans, like not to become Clearwater, but to keep it the coastal vibe and really provide great places for your family to go to. And people need places to stay.
Yes. And it's like, we think about the fact that the Hurricane Helene finished the schooner off. How many rooms did that have where you had people for decades back year after year after year? And like you said, good point. We're doing Saturday to Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the 1 week Indiana, Missouri vacation that we're rubbing two nickels together to bring our family down to do.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that's exactly. I never went on a 2-week vacation when I was growing up. Never did. But never did. Are you kidding me?
Who's rich and
get back to work? Right? I know, never did. But that, and whether we like it or not, Helene cleansed everyone.
Did.
And between COVID and then Helene happening, people couldn't even stand their own four walls, let alone going to a hotel that you just spent, a hotel, motel, condo, whatever you want it to be. You just spent your whole year saving to go to this place. You don't want it to look like Aunt Janet's condo from the 1960s. Like, I'm sorry, but no one wants that. I had some customers that were in a couple, I don't know, this weekend was a blur at some point over the weekend. And they're like, we just stay over. They're very, very nice. They're very, very sweet. They're from Indiana. Like, we just stay across the way, to be named nameless, where they were staying across from John's Pass. And I was like, oh, and I truly was not familiar with it. I truly wasn't.
Is this the one that's the red color?
I don't know, because I was like, I really haven't been in every place, but I think that the conversation steered that they might have thought that I was really knowledgeable about the area, and so that I knew what kind of place they were staying in. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. The location's fantastic. And they're like, that's about all there was. I was like, oh. And they're like, yeah, it needs some updating. I was like, oh, it's a bring your own sheets type of place. And they're like, yes.
Rubber sheets.
Can we get the cleaners here while we're checking in, please?
Oh, you know what we should do? We should just literally throw our bags and a bug bomb in and then shut the door and go to dinner. Exactly. And come back in 6 hours.
So funny. It was so funny. But I mean, that's just exactly it. So I It's interesting that the conversation has entered the arena. We always just thought it was like people were
interesting that it's one property owner that is just like David and Goliath.
The email that I received had like 9.
Oh,
there was one that's starting it.
So it's like a class action.
Yeah. I mean, loosely, I guess we could call that, but.
Well, I'm just using it in reference of like, there's one person, whistleblower number 1, but then there's like 9 of them behind them.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Are they all on the same street?
I think it's a couple of streets.
Interesting. Because again, there's a way to do this. And, obviously there's going to have to be, in my opinion, we could do all the public hearings we want, but it's like, again, I'm a rule follower. Why does this exist to begin with? There's got to be a reason. And so we need to look at what studies were done to determine where these lines were drawn originally, and have the studies reperformed with, like you said, the changing of the landscape since COVID and hurricanes and everything. And are those study findings still relevant? Are they still applicable? Or could it be reapproached because this and this and this have changed?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not trying to, take your freedom, but it's just like, I promise you, I don't want to fly in your Chardonnay. And I promise these people that, again, freedom. But at the same time, I'm just like, then why didn't you go buy in Reddington? Why didn't you go buy an IRB? Why didn't you go buy on a street that you can do that on?
Well, I can answer 2 of them is that they didn't buy it. They inherited it. And now are really like, well, if I'm going to spend all this money that I didn't buy it, I now have to put it back together according to you. According to Madeira Beach, I now have to put this back together. Well, if I'm going to spend,
either rebuild something or put it back together.
Yeah. And if I'm going to spend 100 G's to put this back together, I want to do everything I can to capitalize on the money, because I don't live there. I never have.
Those are the people with the time to do this, because you have people that they can't. They have to make the money now, or they got to sell it now.
I mean, the one of the ones that I'm thinking about, I mean, they didn't have the means to do it, and they just had to spend the last 2 years hustling everything they could, including renting out their own home.
Oh, wow.
While they went and lived somewhere else with a friend. So that they could put this home back together, because Madeira Beach wanted them to do so. And now I'm spending 100 G's. How do I maximize those 100 G's? I don't blame them. You're going to get $1,200 a month in rent, maybe $1,800 for a studio, maybe $1,800 a month in rent for a 1-bedroom, when you could be making like $500 a week. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I don't blame them.
I'll tell you what else is going to be brought up in public comment, because I've heard it from people that this is coming. So it's ironic, with the future hotel rooms that we have coming in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But it's ironic because there's another grassroots movement that has started, and it is to increase the severity of being busted doing this illegal short-term
because it's $250 really enough.
Well, because right now you have so many places that are just disregarding it and doing what they want and whatever,
let's say you have a 4-6 bedroom house that you're renting out, and you're renting it out because you and all your buddies are going to stay there, and you're renting it for $700 a night for the weekend. Mm-hmm. Okay, find me $250. That really hurts.
That's what I'm saying. It's overhead costs. So they're they're considering it part of like cleaning costs, turnover, whatever, permits, this, that, electric bill, utilities, and the liens.
Yes.
That's just it's just on the property management gross net income account summary every month. So I am also a big proponent in the fact of, again, the developers, the investors, the business owners that have come here and done it the right way. And I'm not saying not cause to stink, okay? Cause your stink. But do not come in here and just decide to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And not pay what is owed to our city. I'm sorry, but it's just like, that's not okay. And so these fines have to have more teeth. Okay?
Yes, they do.
And so there's been, I mean, again, these are all going to be public hearings. These are going to be workshop discussions. This is going to be board of commissions. Like, attend the meetings, people.
Yes. You want a voice, attend them.
Exactly. But guys, I've heard rumors of like $5,000 first time.
Yeah.
And every day, $10,000.
Yeah, I think that has to go through a Florida statute, from what I heard.
Of course it does.
Yeah, like that will take a long time for it to happen.
It will take a long time, but it'll be ironic because that got brought up in public comment like 2 meetings ago. So the fact that this lawyer in this class action group, we're going to call them, have also now come to the public hearing or public comment arena. It's ironic because only people like you and me and other people that tune into everyone, and obviously the commissioners and the city staff, I wonder, there's got to be other people that are like, you guys catching this? Are you catching that we're actually getting grassroots movement here pro and grassroots movement here con?
Yeah.
Like, I find that very ironic.
Yeah.
And also, we'll see where it all lands because this will not be a fast process like we were just discussing. Either one way or another.
Nope,
and we'll
not
see
when it's
how
government.
many hotel rooms are already functioning when it comes time. So,
yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it's an interesting perspective and conversation, and you hear it here first.